So a lot of you by now have already heard Jehovah's Witnesses are now allowed to accept blood transfusions so long as it's their own stored blood. This is monumental. This is shocking. This is a historic change. Maybe you're new here, you don't know about this, or maybe you're learning about Jehovah's Witnesses. This is huge. Jehovah's Witnesses, for decades, were not allowed to get blood transfusions. Like if you got one, you were kicked out and shunned. Or your family member, or whoever it was, right? Thousands upon thousands of Jehovah's Witnesses, including children, many of those were children, have died as a result of the Jehovah's Witnesses' no blood transfusion policy. Even if you didn't lose someone personally, this is just, there's a collective trauma. This is reprehensible. I know a lot of you have been chewing on this all week, understandably, or maybe, like I said, you're new here and you're just learning about this. My husband, John, EXJW Analyzer, he did a fantastic video with all the data and statistics, and if you really want to know like the blood policy history and walk through all that, I'll leave links below. I'm not going to rehash all that here. You guys know everything already. Instead, if you are a grown adult, you work, you live on your own, maybe you're married with kids, maybe not. You're not a dependent. If you are glued to the TV set, so to speak, watching this JW news cycle and like waiting for the next thing, because that's what's been happening lately, right? You know, the organization's been making rapid fire changes. You know, what's the next adjustment? We're all curious, you know, we've all been sitting around watching this stuff happen, unfold over the years, not just over the years, but like recently, like in the past year or two. If you're glued to the TV, you're watching this play out, you're enraged by the blood policy change, again, understandably so, or if you're hoping that this major change will be the catalyst for mom and dad, for your JW mom and dad to wake up. If you're hoping that this is the thing that's going to finally get your brainwashed family, you know, you love them, but they're brainwashed. If you're hoping that this is the thing that's finally going to trigger their waking up, I would highly, highly encourage you to ask yourself how much longer you are willing to put your life on hold waiting for this whole thing to come crashing down. Spoiler alert! Most Jehovah's Witnesses are not going to wake up from this. You and I both know Jehovah's Witnesses have been conditioned their whole lives, but very specifically on an acute level in the past year or two. You know, men can have beards, women can wear pants. Then accept these little things to where it's like, oh, what a wonderful provision. Jehovah is adjusting our understanding. It's like novel, but it's not about the beards and the pants. There's something larger coming down the pike. Like the blood thing is huge. But I don't believe for a second that this is over. Like you think they're going to stop now? Jim Jones, it wasn't a big moment where it was like, okay, leader, we're just going to do this thing. They were conditioned. You guys think that those people thought they were actually going to die that day? Jones had been training them Jehovah's Witnesses go to the Kingdom Hall with their book bags and their outfits, and they have their mind control regime, their brainwashing sessions every week to train for a moment like this with the blood policy change. Jones' people at his church used to do the Kool-Aid drill. You can read about this. You can look this up. They used to practice the drill at their weekly church services or whenever it was. And it's like, oh, he didn't actually poison us. Oh, okay. So you think they actually thought they were going to die? Let me be absolutely clear that this is not what this video is about. I don't think that Jehovah's Witnesses are going to have a big Jim Jones moment. I wouldn't put anything past them, but I personally don't think that that's what's going to happen. However, the point is this isn't new. Your boomer parents have been practicing loyalty drills for decades. And when you view this in context with their 2013 Watchtower, I'm going to pull it up here. Most of us can recall the infamous Watchtower, where it says, all of us must be ready to obey any instructions we may receive, whether these appear sound from a strategic or human standpoint or not. I mean, come on, guys, it's not really surprising that, you know, they haven't been like, oh my God, the blood policy, it woke us up. They've been training for this. A lot of boomer parents or people from this demographic, they're not stupid. They are awake, but they're choosing to stay for their own reasons. They have, it's a pride issue. They just can't, my child was right and I was wrong. I just can't live with myself. Or my family is going to fall apart. We're going to be in all this turmoil. The implications are very scary. My point to all this being, there's a lot of family dynamics going on that are very messy and confusing and difficult and complicated, yada, yada, yada. And if you are one of those grown-ass adults who is waiting around with bated breath, hoping that this blood policy change or the next big thing to hit Watchtower, the next big change is going to be the thing that wakes your parents up or wakes your family up, you are actively participating in the very dysfunction that you are trying to break free from. You are greasing the wheels. You're part of the problem. If you go to the memorial next week, okay, memorial is what, April 2nd? You go to the memorial just to appease your parents? You bring your kids? You're training your kids that you have to pretend to be something you're not to earn love. You just don't understand, Bethany. There's grandma, there's grandpa. My kids got their cousins to play with. It'll just be traumatic. My sisters, my brothers, all of us are deep. You don't understand. We're all deep in it. You're settling for conditional love. You're basically telling yourself that you don't deserve to be treated better. If you're being honest with yourself, you don't believe that you deserve to be treated better. And in that way, I got a little news flash for you. They're conditioning you. Jehovah's Witnesses are so stupid. They're conditioned. Oh, look, I'm 35 and I'm still in. Jehovah's Witnesses are brainwashed. Jehovah's Witnesses are just around the corner. I'm 42. Uh-oh. Maybe just around the corner, Mom and Dad will wake up. It's illogical. It's stupid. How could they fall for it? They're being conditioned. Oh, holy shit, I'm 56 years old. My son's a ministerial servant. My daughter, oh shit, how am I going to get out of this? But for the rest of you who are like, yeah, fuck that. I'm ready to reclaim my life. I have 3 thoughts that I'd like to leave with you. Number 1, you have to let your parents go. I'm not a therapist. Do whatever you want. I know we're dealing with themes of grief and trauma and major things happening in your family. Go pay someone. But I just wrote about this in my new book, Burning Down the House, Coping with Toxic Family Dynamics, Estrangement, and Rebuilding Your Life. Link in the bio. I'm living it. I'm practicing what I preach. I'm not getting on the internet because this was easy and because I'm going to go get a manicure with my mom in an hour. I haven't heard my parents' voice in 8 years. Oh, well, but Bethany, even if I do have the means to leave and have the money or a supportive spouse or the perfect circumstances to leave, I can't just, you can't just emotionally just get over your parents or get over your family. You don't have to stop loving your parents. That's not what I'm saying. But you cannot remain emotionally invested if you're going to break free. I spoke to my parents 3 times a day on the phone every day of my life, and they disappeared overnight. You think this shit was easy for me? You're not special. We're all in the same boat. Just like I'm not special from the person standing next to me that's shunned, who's been shunned for 30 years. You have to view it as emotionally divorcing your family if you are going to survive. If they wake up, fantastic. Means they summoned the humility to say, you know what? This was wrong. I thought this was right. It's wrong. It's a cult. And I want to reconnect with my loved ones. They'll find you. Love them, hate them, it's not my business. But you cannot remain emotionally invested in the back and forth bullshit and walking on eggshells for the rest of your life. Your life is going to pass you by. Number 2, no contact with the congregation. No contact is another concept I talk about extensively in my book. I'm not telling you in this video whether or not to go no contact with your parents. That's a very highly personal decision you're going to have to figure out. You're going to have to weigh the nuance and the pros and cons and all that stuff. The congregation? Bye. Seriously, if you're going to extricate yourself from this situation, you're already dealing with your family. Brother and sister so-and-so, bye. Keep your feelings to yourself, don't reveal your plans, and don't take the bait when your phone starts to blow up with texts. They are not your friends. Number 3, protect your kids. If your children are small, now is the time to get out. Yes, I have 2 teenagers. No, they did not come from my uterus, but I raised them from a very young age. They have nothing to do with the cult. Okay, and when it comes to your parents, when it comes to grandma and grandpa, when they undermine your authority as their parent, you only have yourself to blame. You're in the goddamn driver's seat. You're their parent. Rip the Band-Aid off. Memorial of Christ's death coming up April 2nd. A lot of people are choosing, I'm hearing chirping here and there, of people using that as the opportunity to take a stand. Or I should say are proposing that to PMOs that, use this as the opportunity this is the year that you should protest and say, nah, I'm not doing this. For them, the blood policy is going to be the last straw, the final straw. But I'm telling you right now, there's never going to be a perfect moment to leave. There's never going to be a perfect moment to come out to your toxic, devout Jehovah's Witness family. There's never going to be a perfect moment. Not only is there never going to be a perfect moment, but you're going to find out so fast how quickly your parents are willing to give you up. And then in that moment, you're going to be like, holy shit, I spent my whole life fighting for this relationship. I spent so many sleepless nights crying or whatever, doing this torturous back and forth to try to keep a relationship with you. And that's it? You just drop me? I hope you experience that at 42 and not 62. All right, take that same energy. Everyone's pissed off right now. Take that Europimo, take that same energy and get the out. Do something about it.